Welcome back. I am your host, Susanna May O'Hagan, and today. Nope. Welcome back. I am your host, Susanna May O'Hagan, and today we are talking about A Mother's Revenge, which is a movie that I saw the other day. I don't know how I found it. I was just randomly looking for some Lifetime movies. I guess I don't even know anymore. A Mother's Revenge is a 1993 television movie which aired on ABC Network on November 14th, 1993. This movie is based on the 1989 novel Desperate Justice by Richard S. Plot: after Carol Sanders' 12-year-old daughter, Wendy, is brutally attacked by her school janitor, Frank Warden, she ends up on trial for murder after shooting Frank in court. Lady, I don't know if I would or not, because we will get into what he did. Carol Sanders, Bill Sanders, Bess Warner, Jill Sanders, Wendy Sanders, Frank Warner, Ellen Wells. We will see what we can find first on the movie, and then I will talk about what I remember. I just recently watched it. Okay. Okay. After her young daughter, Wendy, is essayed and brutally beaten, Carol Sanders finds herself facing murder charges for shooting the apist. Ape. A Mother's Revenge was filmed in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. Deals with a horrible subject and elements, the crying game that doesn't stop for those involved, and the arm that execution producers and producers kept it from being exploited and unwatchable. The deck is stacked so heavily in the mother's favor that the moral lesson barely registers. Yeah, but I mean, okay. Well, we will talk about the whole thing in a minute because this is more complicated than you would think. A girl is beaten and essayed by someone from her school when lack of proof keeps him from prison. The girl's mother sets out to reveal the truth. Carol has the perfect family, well, aside from her occasional feud with her rebellious goth daughter, Jill. But her youngest child, Wendy, has straight A's, is a teacher's pet, loves animals, and has recently befriended the school janitor, Mr. Warner. When Wendy goes missing one night, Carol and her husband get a disturbing visit from the cops that sends Carol sanity into a downward spiral until she takes it on anyone and sets out for revenge. It looks like we don't have any more to say about this movie. Okay, I guess I have to sum up this movie because there's hardly anything on it. The little girl is staying after school. I think she was getting some tutoring. The mother is at her job. The dad is at his job. The mother calls the older sister to go pick up the little sister. The little sister, after school, was asked if the teacher should stay with her. The teacher said no. The little girl said, no, it's okay. You can go home. My parents will be here any minute, because she did not know that her mother could not come. And that was her sister picking her up. The little girl is super sweet, super kind, super friendly, very aw, that's a sweet kid. Very young. I think she was blonde, which some people say has something to do with some things. She's nice to the janitor. The janitor gave me the creeps before even the movies. The 5 seconds in, he gave me the creeps. That's just me, though. I trying to learn from my past mistakes to find my creep door and run. You give me the creeps, I'm leaving. No thank you. But yeah. So the next thing that happens is she's by herself with the janitor. The sisters stopped at her job, I think. No, her sister was with her. The sister was late picking her up. I know that. I don't remember why. She might have forgot what time it was. Who knows? I believe that's what happened. And she was left alone with the janitor. We don't know for sure. I do, but according to the story, if the janitor is the one who did anything. When the sister finally gets to the school, her younger sister is not there. That's right. Wendy is not at school where she's supposed to be. The big sister's freaking out, super upset. Um, she tells her parents, they call people, and I forget how long it takes, but they find her pretty well, almost dead. She literally was basically on life support, I think, at one point. She had a broken arm, a broken leg, a giant bandage on her head. She was in a coma, in and out. And the mother was very distraught, and so was everyone else, because obviously, why wouldn't you be? The thing is, eventually they say, oh, we think it's the janitor, but we don't have a lot of evidence that it's the janitor. The biggest thing that I think everyone figured out, though, is the janitor has had issues in other states. But because they were in other states, it didn't fall through. And that's the whole thing, apparently, with schools is... Back then, I don't know if it's true now, that it just didn't follow him through to the next state. His mother and him were supposed to have dinner together. This is where we see it, but everyone else doesn't. That he shows up late to dinner with his mother. Big part of the story. He shows up late with his mother. By the way, if you don't want to hear the whole story, don't want to know exactly what happens, exit. Anyway, eventually they say it's him. They take him to court. And the biggest thing is the mother lied and said he was with her. With her at dinner, and he wasn't late. But as the viewers, we know he was. As everyone else, the only people who know he was late is him, his mom, and maybe some people who work there. So he gets off, basically for almost killing this kid. And then the mother totally freaks out and shoots the dude with a gun. I have no idea how she got a gun in there. I don't know if that's because it was a different time period, because I'm pretty sure nowadays they have like a lot of like stuff in place. But she shot him. And us as the viewer can't decide, did she do the right thing? Because he would have gotten off and done it again, because it has been proven he has done it like 2 to 3 times. And this time he got worse. Like, each time he got more and more worse. And you're like, ooh, I don't know. If someone did that to my kid, I don't know what I would be thinking. Like, I love my kid, but also what she did was wrong. But also what he did, and he got off. It's like, your brain just snaps and you're like, I don't know what to think. It's a really, like, good, like, gives you, like, a, wow, this movie is way deeper than you would think. Because it's like, it gives you, like, a real, like, punch gut. Like, what would you do in her situation? How would you act? A, I would never have a gun. B, I don't know if I would ever do that, because, but at the same time, like, if someone hurt my kid, I would snap. Like, probably wouldn't even know I did anything, because I love my kid, but I'm also not that crazy to have something laying out like that. I'm not that crazy, because I've seen what it can do. But anyway, the mother is now on trial. The worst part is, we don't know what happened to the dude yet. Which means, she went up to the mother of the guy who hurt her daughter. And she straight up says, well, my son is dead. So the mother is now charged with murder. The problem is, like, she's the one taking care of her daughter, who has a broken arm, a broken leg, was assaulted, was in a coma, basically could barely, like, talk, giant scar on her head. So, like, we also have that part of the story where, like, the mother is trying her hardest, and the mother and her older daughter are not getting along because the older daughter's blaming herself, the mother's blaming the older daughter, obviously. The mother's starting to blame her. And the next thing you know, like, the girl's not going back to school because she's been through too much. She's in a wheelchair. She can't really do much. And the people were really upset about it. The school, like, was upset about it. Um, Eventually, the mom had to get a lawyer. The lawyers get involved. Then, at one point, they have the trial. The trial, the mother was about to be sentenced. But the mother of the guy who hurt her daughter, supposedly, said, don't put her in jail. Because what he did was horrible, and she lied about it, and she also is not taking responsibility. She said, I should have stopped him. I just loved my son too much, and I should not have done what he did. So, like, a mother's love is so complicated. She didn't know what to do about her son doing what he did, like, 3 to 4 times. Because they said he's done it multiple times, so I don't know how many that means. And including this little girl, it's been too many. She's like, I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I also love him. So, at the end, the mother did not go to jail for murder. Luckily, I think. I don't know. It's a very complicated case. Because, like, you should not go around killing people. But you also should not have, he should not have done what he did to the child. And he should not have gone off by one hearsay. It is a very complicated movie. Go check it out. I think you should watch the whole thing. My describing it's probably not the best detail, but there's not much on it. I keep finding these movies that there's not much on, which is super weird. Like, I have more movies that I'll get into in a few minutes or later. We will see. Have a great and wonderful day. I hope you all learn never to do anything like this, especially that janitor dude. And maybe stay with the kid. If you're a teacher and you're like, are you sure you can stay here by yourself? And the kid says yes, just stay. At that point, I would just stay, just to be on the safe side. Because you don't know what could happen. Okay. And also, maybe if you can't pick up your kid, double check with the child. Like, it is so hard to, like, pick up the kid and make sure that, like,